How's it going, my Comic Army? We're here with Brenton Lengel, the creator of Snow White and the Zombie Apocalypse. How you doing, Brenton?
I'm doing good, though it is Snow White Zombie Apocalypse. There is no and the. But that's okay. Scout even screwed that up when they put it on the site.
Oh, man. So, was this book always with Scout?
Yeah, I mean, so it started out as a play in the Estrogenius Festival in 2010 in New York, which is a celebration of female voices. Someone saw me from behind and assumed I was a chick. And it sort of grew from there. Started out as like a 10-minute play and then grew to a 2-hour play that was in the New York Fringe in 2011. Did really, really well there. And I sort of got the idea that I thought it would work really well as a comic book. And eventually I found my artist for the first issue, Hyando Park, and we started working. So at the time I was searching for a publisher in like 2015, I went to the New York Comic-Con. And I had, armful of just the first 7 pages or so and the description of the series and the full color cover, and was pitching various companies, and that's where I encountered Scout. And I saw some artists drawing. I came over and I was like, hey, are you guys a company? And they're like, yeah, we're Scout. And I'm like, well, would you be interested in looking at my comic? And they looked at it, and I'm very lucky that Hyando is an absolutely incredible artist, because they got really excited and were like, oh, we got to go tell our boss about this. And yeah, that's how I met Brendan Deneen. He took one look at the book and was like, I want it. And took a little while because I had some other offers on the book and some other people who were interested. But after looking through everything, I really, really liked how enthusiastic Brendan was about the book. He seemed to be a really great guy. We have a lot in common. So I decided to go with Scout. And, the production took a little while, but we did get the book out, the original Snow White Zombie Apocalypse #1 double issue, as a one-shot back in 2019, just before Halloween. And since then, I've been funding the rest of the book on Kickstarter, and we are going to be re-releasing. Scout is planning to re-release Snow White Zombie #1 in just at the beginning of next year, and then release the whole series as a Scout comic, which is really, really exciting.
Wow. How many is the book completed?
I mean, the series, at the moment, we've got everything done up to what's going to be the first trade, and the series is going on from there. One of the things that I wanted to do always with Snow White Zombie is I wanted to change artists frequently, because I love Sandman, and Sandman does that. And like dreams, fairy tales you get multiple tellings, get different people talking about the same story can be very different. And so to give that impression, I've jumped from artist to artist. So the first one was Hyando Park, who did the first issue, really the first 2 issues. And then Luana Vecchio did issues #2, #3, and she's finishing her run with #4, which is the issue that is currently funding and has funded on Kickstarter. We actually just hit $15,000, and we are going to be creating the second Snow White Zombie inspired tarot set.
Nice.
Yeah, so there'll be a number of other cards featuring the characters that are taken from the major arcana, and we're going to be moving on to other rewards. The Kickstarter itself has 8 days left to go, so we'll see how far we go. The series so far has had a really, really great reception, but Hyando's portion and Luana's portion actually constitute the first trade. So if you go back to the original play, this would basically be the beginning of the play up to 50%. And then after this, Luana's run is ending, and it was perfect and we're moving on to another artist who's already working on Swaza #5 and 6, and he's going to do 4 or 5 issues, and then I'll probably change one more time before the end. So the whole series will probably consist of at least 2 trades by the time it's done, and maybe 9 or 10 issues. And then what happens from there is it's going to depend on what Scout wants to do, what I am able to do at the time, and if there is still an audience for this series, and if people are still as excited about it as they are right now and have been since it launched.
Okay. Have you thought about picking another princess?
Other than Snow White?
Yes.
I mean, there are other princesses that make it into the series. The sort of core engine and heart of the story is the love triangle between Snow White, Rapunzel, and Prince Charming. Um, and so I don't know if I'm going to follow other people within the story. I mean, we have already seen Sleeping Beauty showed up as a zombie and gets killed at the end of Snow White Zombie of this one. There's definitely other fairy tale characters that I'm working in, but I think our three protagonists, they're going to remain the center of the story until at least issue 10, because that's really their story. But there's a lot of other characters that get worked in. There's also some changes that have occurred between the play and the comic. Swaza 5 and 6, by the way, are going to be nuts because I'm working in a lot of stuff from like the actual like Scandinavian sagas. There's a huge Viking influence starting on issue 5. And we deal with like the saga of Hrolf Kraki, which is an awesome fairy tale involving like the god Odin, Hrolf, and his 12 berserker bodyguards, and also his antagonist, the Draugr Queen, Skuld half Elven. So, wow. Yeah, it's going to get really crazy. There's also several other characters that have been introduced to the series by the supplemental material that are making it in. One is Jack the Giant Slayer, who is based after, you find him in the Reign of the Blood-Covered King Ashcan mini comics that we've been putting out, again, as rewards for like stretch goal rewards. And he is based after the Brave Little Tailor character and there's a ton of like really intricate things. There's also Charming's father, the eponymous blood-covered king. You met him in the prequel. He is the one who sort of tasked Jack with slaying 4 giants, one of the mountain, one of the forest, 3 giants, because he's already killed the cloud giant. But there's still a giant of the forest, a giant of the seas, and a giant of the mountains that he has to take out to pay his debt for the damage he caused killing the first giant. We also have his sister Jill will make an appearance. So we have Jack and Jill. She's going to be coming in starting at issue 6. I'm writing her right now, and I'm really excited about that. And then there's, of course, also another new character that we've introduced, which is in the supplemental material, named Harold von Berg, who is based after he's sort of a fusion of Radagast and the like from Lord of the Rings, and also like a character from German folklore called Herr von Berg, who is a sort of mountain spirit that is related to turnips. And there's a number of stories about him. So he's made it in. He, as we saw in the most recent issue of Reign of the Blood-Covered King, was saved by the king and then invited the king and his retinue to dinner after using his magical beans to grow a bridge for them to cross this river. But also he's been bit by a zombie, and he's concealing the bite.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the book, does it explain to you how the zombies got there?
So the zombie apocalypse actually in issue 4. So this issue, you're going to get, they've been kind of canny about it. It has something to do with Prince Charming and Rapunzel, but it comes out in issue 4 exactly what happened. And I will say, if you've read the people who've read the original play know, so I'm not going to go too much into spoilers, but this touches on I'll just say that this touches on another fairy tale, and that particular fairy tale is Sleeping Beauty. So if you've read Sleeping Beauty, you will get an idea of where the zombie plague came from and where like the whole story is going.
Okay, can people still go see the play?
The play is not being performed right now in New York. I do have a video of it that I've been thinking of putting out as a reward. I just haven't gotten around to it. So the original Fringe production I do have on video. And if people want to see the script of the play, they can contact me, and I can get it out to them. It hasn't been published yet, but I do have it, and people do occasionally ask for it. There's also been snippets of it that have been published in various like theater anthologies. So if a company sees it and decides, somebody here who has a theater company wants an awesome play about zombies and fairy tales that's also a comic book, contact me, and I'd be down with more productions of the show, because it's a really great show and people really love it. But yeah, so you can't see the play right now. It's not in production, but that could change at any time. It just depends on if there's a theater company that wants to produce it and for how long.
Okay. But how long is the runtime?
It's about 2 hours.
That's not bad.
Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah, the play runs 2 hours without an intermission. Or maybe did we have an intermission? No, we didn't, because it was in the Fringe. So yeah, it's just a 2 hour, 2-act play without an intermission. And the series that'll take up about 10 comics to tell. I should say though, also I'm leaving things open because the story has grown. There was nothing about Skuld half Elven or any of the Viking stuff worked into the original play. That's been added for a number of practical and artistic reasons. But I'm really excited about it because it's kind of like how the Walking Dead TV series is different from the Walking Dead comics. The Snow White Zombie comic book series is different, but informed by the original play. Okay.
What would you say some do's and don'ts are from going from Kickstarter to a publisher, then going back to Kickstarter?
So, well, to be clear, I didn't start with Kickstarter. I actually started with Scout.
Right.
And then after the Scout release, I started going with Kickstarter. I think the main thing to do with it is that publishers get nervous that if you've already sold a book on Kickstarter, it's great because they know there's an audience, but they're also like, well, the audience already bought it, so why should I publish it? Which I don't think is true. Like, just for the record, I know some comic shop owners think that, but when people are giving on Kickstarter, they're paying a premium. And they're paying a premium, not simply to pre-order the comic, but to be a part of the creation process and to make sure that this thing happens. So just to get the book on Kickstarter, you're going to be paying a lot more than what you would pay in a comic shop. So then when you release the book in comic shops, I think that really expands the audience to people, who, want to go in there and get like a, $2.99, $5.99 comic book from, their local store, as opposed to who want to go in and pay $20 for the same thing or close to the same thing, but to get it earlier. So, I think it's a very different audience, but just, it can be very complicated just working that out with the publishers. And that's actually one of the reasons why it's taken so long from like when these books were actually completed to bring them to like market and to get them listed in Diamond and everything. And that's why it's starting next year. We're just basically making sure that, my Kickstarter backers can get the book. And then also Scout can come along and, get it out to comic shops nation and worldwide. So yeah, it's a balancing act, and communication is really important.
All right. So right now you're not in comic shops, just the one shot?
Just the one shot is what's in comic shops, and that actually sold out really fast. There's a couple of comic shops that have reached out to me personally and therefore are carrying Swaza, like the Swaza versions that I've published through my own company, which is Autonomous Collective. And then when many more of them will get it when the Scout version comes out, which is going to have, a Scout imprint. It will also have its own unique covers and possibly some additional, the details are still being worked out, but there should be some additional content in some of the comics, might be numbered slightly differently, that kind of thing. So for collectors who really want the whole series, there is a real incentive, even if you already have it. There's a real incentive to get the Scout version as well.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, www.brentonlengel.com. It's currently being redone, so not all of my stuff is up on it right now. Like we're in the process of switching it over. I had a very nice website like 10 years ago, and then I didn't do anything with the website. And so like it was massively outdated, and now we're kind of in like a medium phase. But yeah, I got a website.
All right. And do you have any social medias you want people to follow you on?
Sure. I mean, just Google me. I'm literally the only Brenton Lengel in the world, so if you Google my name, you'll find me. But if you really, I'll give you a link to my link tree, which is just a list of everywhere that I am. The ones you want to look at me on that I'm most active are Twitter at Brenton Lengel. My YouTube channel is also on there. Just search Brenton Lengel. On that channel, I talk about art, comics, philosophy, politics, and I do debates. So it's an interesting, very eclectic channel, and we're growing pretty quickly, which is very, very exciting. So I am mostly at this point active on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
All right. And they can reach out to you to buy books, or they have any questions?
Yeah. They can reach out to me to buy books. They can also go to the Kickstarter. We've got Snow White Zombie 1 to 4 funding on Kickstarter right now. As I said, we just hit the tarot card premium at 15,000, and we're going to be going on. I guess I can announce it on your show now because I don't have the update about this. This is an exclusive. So one of the awesome rewards that we got the last time was these Reign of the Blood Covered King coins.
Nice.
This is an official Swaza coin, and a lot of Kickstarters do coins, but this one, so first off, on the front here, you've got the king himself, and you'll notice the side of his face is messed up because my thought of it is that this coin is floating around the kingdom. A pissed off peasant gets his family devoured by the blood-covered king, finds his face in a coin, and decides to carve half of it into a skull. So, it's based on both like a kind of a medieval fantasy coin, but also hobo nickels and stuff. It was designed by Eric Moore and my artist, Luana Vecchio. The motto is Regius Carnem Sanguinis, which is Latin for royal flesh, royal blood. On the back, we've got the actual seal of the kingdom, which does appear in the comics and the supplemental material. There are a number of fairy tale references and also Cthulhu mythos references on the back in the seal. And the motto on the back is Omnes una manet nox, which is the real life Valar Morghulis. It means one night awaits us all. So our next, now that we've gotten the tarot cards that are coming out, our next big thing is we're going to release a smaller silver coin like this, but featuring Prince Charming. So he's also on the coin of the realm. Are the coins magical? Yes, probably. Buy one and try making a wish.
Nice.
So that's going to be our next that's going to be our next stretch goal. I'm really excited about it. The first coin turned out amazing, and I'm really looking forward to the Prince Charming coin to balance that out as well, so you can have a set of two, one gold, one silver.
Okay, and what tier is that one?
I haven't set the tiers yet, so I'm not going to say anything right now, but it'll be in there, and everybody will know. If you come in below that tier, all you got to do is just just go up a tier or up your pledge to get it, and then they'll probably also be available as add-ons. Though it's probably most economical for you if you are giving to the Kickstarter to increase to get the coin.
Okay. Well, is there anything you want to say before we go really quick?
Yeah, I just want to say, thank you so much for coming out. I'm really excited with like how much support Snow White Zombie has gotten. If you're just encountering it now, the premise is Snow White awakens to Prince Charming's kiss 28 days after the zombie apocalypse. The 7 dwarves are dead. The prince is polyamorous, and she is dwarfed in power and experience by the prince's paramour, Rapunzel, who's been living in this world and got her hair cut short and is kind of inspired by Spike Spiegel and Bruce Lee. So yeah, she's wailing on these zombies. And And this series we were nominated for 2 2020 Ringo Awards, which was really incredible, especially since this is the first time I've ever released a comic book. So, the art's freaking amazing, and the story is just getting crazier and crazier. And the story gets crazier from, like, there's a moment in issue 1 where, like, freaking grandma pops out of the big bad wolf's stomach and she has to fight 2 zombies stuck together. So that's where it starts, and then it gets crazy.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to talk with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
What? You mean you haven't subscribed to Comicchatauthority? Oh, come on. Subscribe already. What are you waiting for? It's no big deal. Like, man, don't forget to tell him to hit that like button. Yeah, that too. Just subscribe.